This week on the show, we're talking the Coen's 1998 cult classic, The Big Lebowski. Stick around for our takes on this ridiculous crime caper, some of the most quotable lines in film history, and a splash of ancient Chinese philosophy. I'm David.
And I'm Caolán.
And this is Two Men the Podcast. So, Caolán, we're opening up this week with our first public apology.
Yeah, I feel like I've done Ghost Shark star Dave Davis a disservice. I wrongly said last week that he had starred in nothing apart from Ghost Shark, and my God was I wrong. He has shown up as such important characters as Boatswain's mate number 1 in Greyhound. He's been in The Big Short. He played a convenience store clerk in Logan. He was in The Walking Dead as Gargiulo, who is in one episode corrects Merle and gets shot in the face. He plays Toby in a cameo episode of True Detective. Obviously Blaze in Ghost Shark. And I want to say there was one more. Maybe not. Yeah, he plays Burry's assistant in The Big Short. So I correct myself on this.
Some big movies in there.
No. Yeah.
I've heard of The Big Short.
And Greyhound.
I haven't heard of that.
And Logan.
Logan, yeah, exactly.
Greyhound is the Apple Prime. Is it Apple Prime? Apple Video. Apple TV original, like World War II movie. Or World War One, but he's a boat shark. Not shark. He's a boat, what do you call them? Captain.
Sailor.
Getting attacked by torpedoes in the
okay,
World War.
Right.
So yeah, that's apologies to Dave Davis.
Yes.
Of Ghost Shark fame. And then I have listeners' inquiries have made me think that we have a platform now.
Oh, okay.
To ask our tough hitting questions. And me, David, me and you have gone back and forth, and I've been told many times that I'm wrong. But I just want to ask to all our third men out there, could you win a fight with a swan?
No, not could you in general. Could you specifically, Caolán Kelly, win a fight with a swan? Which I say no.
Why? This is my point, right? Okay. I had a PowerPoint drawn up, but then I realised that it's a podcast, so they wouldn't see it.
Okay.
But I think on water I'd lose. That's fair.
Definitely, yeah.
I would lose on water. I put my hands up. I admit I would lose on water. But if I'm at, just say, Isocell Park or something, or St. Stephen's Pond, or Yellowstone National Park for all our fucking
famous for their swans,
Americans. Yes. If I was attacked at a pond on land, I would kill a swan.
Not a chance.
What?
Especially if the swan is starting this, because if a swan's starting it, swan's finishing it.
No, swan starts it, I finish.
I'm
not saying he would get a hit in. I think he'd peck my arm. He'd probably leave me cut. He might hit me hard with his feather arm thing. He might break an arm, yeah, maybe. But what his big strength is how long his neck is to get at my arm.
That's not his
But what's his big weakness? How big his neck is.
But your arms are both broken at this point.
No, they're not. What?
Because the swan's attacked you. He's ambushed you. He's broken both your arms. And you're just like trying to headbutt him.
At most one arm.
I think both.
At most one arm. If he gets my right arm broke first, okay, maybe it's tougher. But if I get him by the right arm, I'll just swing him like a javelin. Not a javelin. What do you call the things you swing? A mace. Like a mace. I would swing him.
I thought you were talking about the Olympics.
I was, but then a mace would make sense. I'd swing him and bounce him off like a bench or like the ground, maybe back into the water, and then let him like lick his wounds and like decide whether he wants to come back. I think I could, and especially two swans, because I would get one and swing him like a nunchuck around at the other one. I think I could realistically take one swan, and if I had a friend, I could take 3 swans.
So The Big Lebowski. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, okay.
It's not not the bowling film you told me it was.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
2, I think it's funny. It has moments, but I seem to have been disappointed by your excitement.
Yeah, I was disappointed by your reaction, to be fair. But
I'm not. It's a good film. Some would say very good, but I think it failed to grab me.
That's okay. It takes a couple of viewings.
I'm not going to give it a couple more. I might watch it again once, maybe, but I'm not going to give it a couple more. You've got me too many, Davey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's you that I'm asking.
Yeah.
The people are waiting on your spoiler-free review first.
First of all, I love it. I think it's just completely wacky. It's done in the style of a kind of 50s crime PI book. This guy, Raymond Chandler. But it's not about a PI.
Definitely not.
No, it's about the dude who's just...
Who abides.
The dude abides. He is just this lazy stoner. So it opens up, and he's in the supermarket buying milk, and he has to write a check for this milk that post dates for next year.
I did write this.
Yeah.
The 69-cent check is. I did write that there. It's pretty funny. I gave them that, and there's a tumbleweed shot straight away that I liked.
Yeah.
It just follows the whole way. But like I said last time, the spoiler free is gone already. We're going straight out of it. So
no, this is still
the spoiler free. I know, but you're gonna go. You're starting in the supermarket. You're gonna go out of hand here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say first off, watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. You've got another 5 minutes. So basically, he comes home from the supermarket and he gets attacked when he walks into his home. And these guys are looking for Jeffrey Lebowski, which is his name, but it's also the name of a millionaire whose wife owes them money. And this dude, this man of Asian persuasion, he urinates on the dude's rug. So the movie's about him trying to get his rug back, because that rug really tied the room together.
It does. It really ties the room together. There's not much more we can step into, is there?
No, without really.
Just ruin it.
We talked about a couple of the kind of cast. So we got Jeff Bridges as
the dude.
As the dude, Jeffrey Lebowski.
John Goodman.
He is
plays
fantastic.
Hunter? What's his name?
Walter,
that's what it is. Hunter.
Yeah.
He plays Walter. He is far and away the best part of this film.
He's hilarious.
And he's maybe the thing I liked about that. I think he's the reason I hung in for as long. Like, I think I might not have made it through a film like this if, for one, it wasn't kind of my job here. But if also John Goodman hadn't been in it, he's very, very funny.
So funny. Steve Buscemi, also great in it, just as the kind of third friend,
third victim of the dude and Walter.
Yeah,
he's a fun-loving dude. He's so adorable, Steve Buscemi.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Not literally, because he's a horrible-looking man, but he's just. I want to be friends with him. It's like in Jaws last week.
Quint.
Hooper. Yeah, I'm awful with names, man. It's like Hooper. There just seems to be one every week that I just want to go for a beer with.
Yeah.
I want to take Donnie out. I want to love him. And then I want to tell him to shut up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Yeah, so I'd say watch it, but David's gonna make you watch it.
Yeah.
There's not much to say here. I don't think you might like it.
You might love it.
You might love it
if you're got any sort of taste at all. But
if you're a lazy stoner, which is what appeals to David about this film. But
yeah, it could be it actually. Yeah, so we just go straight into spoilers now.
Yeah, that will spoil this film now.
Yeah. So basically, he goes to your man Lebowski, and he says, I won a rug. And Lebowski goes off on him because, he's this, whole self-made man, which turns out he isn't.
He is definitely not.
It's all his wife's money. And so he just steals the rug. And then, Big Lebowski, not the dude Lebowski, from now on, we're referring to Big Lebowski is the millionaire and the dude
is the dude.
Yeah. So, Big Lebowski's his wife gets kidnapped, except she doesn't actually, it turns out.
Yeah.
And there's a ransom note, which is completely fake. There's a tow that
is real.
That is real.
It's a real tow.
But it's not her tow.
No.
And as Walter says, I can get you a tow. I can get you a tow by 3 o'clock with nail varnish.
John Goodman's so good.
He's brilliant.
He is so good, man.
The Big Lebowski hires the dude to go to this kidnapping. So he withdraws $1 million from the charity fund.
A charity fund for achievers.
Yeah,
able achievers. Inner city
achievers.
Achievers, yeah, that's what it is.
So he gives it to the dude, but he actually doesn't. He gives him an empty briefcase. So his plan is to take this money and say, "Yep, I was using it for the ransom," but he's actually keeping it and hoping the wife is kidnapped and he doesn't have to see it. And murdered because
he wants her murdered.
Yeah, he's very happy she's gone. Yeah, so
played by Tara Reid.
Yes, you're
of last week fame.
Yeah, American Pie
orgasms. Yeah, that's Tara Reid.
So the dude and John Goodman, Walter, take the briefcase, which they assume has $1 million in it, and they go to the drop-off point. And Walter's brought his ringer, which is his briefcase of his dirty undies.
And he's come fully armed.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
With his fucking Uzi.
With his mini Uzi.
So they throw the ringer out the window, and then his plan is he drops out of the car. He
jumps out 15 feet ahead, 20 feet ahead to roll back.
And he throws the Uzi out with him, and the Uzi goes off and shoots up the car, and
and somehow not him.
Yeah, exactly. He dodges.
I don't understand how he dodges that bullet. Yeah.
Yes. Then basically, his plan was to go back and rescue the girl and keep the money, but now
His plan is I'm going to get one and I'm going to beat it out of him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if there's two, I'm going to beat him off him.
So that's his plans. That plan's kind of fucked. So now but at least they've got the $1 million. So they go bowling because they love bowling.
They do love bowling. Except on Saturdays.
Yeah, he does not roll.
Not on Shabbos.
Not on the Sabbath. So they go bowling.
Don't fucking roll.
And they come out, and the car's gone. And
it is.
He's like, "Well, you were parked in a handicap spot, dude."
Yeah, John Goodman's so good in this film. You can tell he has so much fun with it.
He said it's his favorite film he's been in, and it was the most fun he's ever had.
I don't doubt it. He has so much fun with it.
Incredible.
He is hilarious.
Brilliant. Yeah. So the money's gone. They reported to the police, and meanwhile the Big Lebowski's ringing the dude non-stop, and Donnie's like, "Your phone's ringing there, dude," and he's like, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie."
One of many times Donnie gets
put
in his place, unfortunately.
Well, I think it's fun.
It's fun, but I feel bad for the poor dude.
Yeah, that's true. Poor Donnie.
Especially to come, yes.
Yeah, especially to come.
With the Nazi nihilists.
So the police show up, take a statement, and a couple of days later they find the car. Stinks of piss, all the windows smashed in, and the briefcase full of $1 million is gone. Which wasn't actually full of $1 million.
No, definitely was not.
Then dude finds someone's homework in the car.
In the car.
Which actually that's based on a true story, but I'll get to that later. So he finds a bit of homework and they track down this kid.
They do.
So John Goodman.
More John Goodman.
John Goodman tracks down this kid, and they come into his house and they kind of sit him down I think the mother kind of assumed they were police, but he's like, "Oh, we're not police."
No, we didn't mean to give the impression we're police, man. We're hoping we don't have to go to the police.
Yeah. So he has the homework in the plastic bag, and he says, "Larry," that's the name of the kid, "is this your homework?" And the kid's just not responding, so he goes, "Larry, tell us, is this your homework?" Again, no response from the kid. He's like, "Larry, you're entering a world of pain."
You're in for a world of pain, Larry.
So he goes out to his car, and there's a brand new Corvette parked outside this kid's house.
Lovely car.
So he goes to the boot of his own car, gets a crowbar, and just starts smashing the car up.
He just tears away at this car.
Well, all the while yelling, "This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass."
Yes,
this kid. You see what happens, Larry?
See what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Larry.
Yeah. Actually, the TV version of this that's played before the watershed, they kind of, because they have to alter the...
Did they edit it out or did they change the line?
They changed the line. Do you want to know what they changed?
I absolutely do.
"This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps."
What?
Yeah.
What? That can't be right.
That's 100% true.
What does that have to do with anything? What Alps?
Listen, I have no idea.
What does he mean?
But this is what happens when
Surely
you find
there's
a stranger
better
in the
lines
Alps.
there.
And I was kind of thinking, is there a story behind this? Is there
There's definitely better lines you
But
can
no,
use.
absolutely not. It's
This is
just...
what happens when you mess with a stranger, might even roll better.
Yeah, but they have to kind of get it to sound like the thing, so it doesn't sound out of place.
Because it's not John Goodman saying it.
I think it might be John Goodman.
Well, then why does it matter?
I don't know.
Why does it have to sound the same?
It's just to keep with the flow of whatever. Anyway, so after yelling
Ridiculous.
at him, "This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps."
In the Alps.
Turns out it's not the kid's car, because the kid never had the money, because there was
Obviously.
never $1 million.
Obviously not his car yet.
And then
He nonchalantly, so nonchalantly loses the crowbar.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
I don't understand how your man just
Yeah.
grabs it, just takes it off him, and then runs. He just runs over to
The dude's car.
the dude's car.
And then
Yeah,
he starts smashing up with the crowbar.
it just smashes up
owner
the
of the
dude.
Corvette.
Yeah, with
And-
Donnie in the car,
Yeah.
just watching, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, so he's just battering the car with Donnie in
He
it.
destroys it. It's so funny.
And then I assume they go back bowling.
Yeah, they go bowling.
Yeah.
They
Then Maud comes in, isn't it?
he just says, "Fuck it, let's go bowling."
Yeah, that's it. Fuck it, let's go bowling. And then Maud shows up. So Maud is the Big Lebowski's daughter, and she's this kind of
Well, we would have met Maud by this because we meet her before he finds his car.
that's it. Yeah.
But Maud's the Big Lebowski's daughter,
Yeah,
and she has an affinity for painting
nude.
while swinging from a harness.
Yeah, it helps express her femininity.
Yeah, most men are afraid of the word vagina.
Yes, they don't even like to say the word vagina.
Or they're very free saying Johnson, but not but not the word vagina.
They so happily talk about their Johnson or their dick, but not the word vagina.
Not the word vagina. So
I think we're overcompensating saying vagina too much.
vagina. Yeah, so Maud Right, we've got lost in our own
Yeah,
world here.
but that's
It's not as complicated a plot as.
But that's kind of the point of the film. It's like the plot is like.
It's just all over the place.
Yeah, it's like it's the least important thing in this film.
It is by far.
So, but
Yeah, I lost it at one stage.
oh yeah,
But I got it back. It looked around to me.
yeah, yeah. So Maud takes the rug back that the dude stole from the Big Lebowski and offers $10,000 to get the million back.
Yeah.
And then at some point,
Well, no. The Big Lebowski offers the 10,000. She offers 100,000.
oh yeah, she offers
Maud
100,000.
offers 100,000
That's it,
of the million.
And then at some point, Maud wants a child, but she doesn't want a father to
Father.
be involved with the child. So she says, "Oh, Lebowski's perfect, or the dude's perfect,
Dude's perfect.
because
They bone.
yeah, because So and then she tries to get pregnant, and then at some stage the nihilists come in, led
Played by Peter Stormare
and
from Until Dawn fame.
yeah, and the bassist from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea.
And I want to say, is it this group that Jacob is in?
No, I think that's Jackie Treehorn, the porn star. Or
He
the porn
is. No,
producer,
you're right.
sorry.
He is. Yeah, he's with the Porn Stars group.
Yeah, Peter Stormare, is he the porn star as well? He is a porn star. He's not porn stars.
Yeah, no, he's with the.
He's Carl Hungus.
Yeah, he is with the Nazi nihilists.
Yeah, which
He
aren't
is the
actually
leader
Nazis.
of. Well, they could be Nazis.
But yeah, well, no, they can't be Nazis if they're nihilists.
Are they the Nazis, Walter?
Don't you
Donnie
little
seems
bit.
to think they're Nazis,
Donnie does think they're
and
Nazis.
I trust not. I trust Nazis.
Yo,
I
okay.
trust Donnie.
Right, we'll clip that. If there's ever, if we ever need to blackmail Caolán.
I ratted Stephen King out for murder last week, and I'm a Hitler supporter this
Spielberg.
week. Just move
Yeah.
on. Just move on. Shit with names.
Right, so what else is there in the plot? I don't even remember. Sam Elliott shows up occasionally and starts talking to the dude.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, he's just the stranger.
Yeah, that is so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know that I quite understand what the point of that is, but
I don't really think there is a point. He's just telling the story.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I like it.
No, I don't. I thought it was John Goodman narrating it at one stage. I don't like it. I get on. We'll get through this, and I'll tell you what I don't like. I
Yeah,
have
okay,
things.
and we'll talk about. So eventually he figures out that Jackie Treehorn doesn't have the money, that the kid Larry doesn't have the money, and he figures out that the Big Lebowski had the money.
Had the money,
So they
the
go to
money.
confront him, and John Goodman accuses the Big Lebowski, by the way, is in a wheelchair, and
Yeah.
it's,
Oh
and
yes,
John Goodman accuses him of being a faker.
yes.
So he lifts him out of the wheelchair and throws him on the ground.
I've never been more sure of anything in my entire life. This man can walk.
He couldn't walk.
He cannot walk.
No. So then they just go bowling again.
You hate the Big Lebowski the whole film, and he just sits in a ball crying on
Yeah,
the floor after
exactly.
being thrown out of his wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for him.
Oh, I didn't. He was a dickhead.
I felt so bad for him.
His assistant also
Walter's
we
a
didn't talk about.
dick.
It's very funny. Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, we'll get back to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is pretty funny.
So after this, they go bowling again. And the first time in the movie, Donnie rolls and he doesn't roll a strike.
Yeah,
So they go out to the car, and who's there but the nihilists?
Nazis.
So Peter Stormare and Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Even the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
They're all there, and they want the money, Lebowski. And he's like, there is no money. We have no idea where this money
he
is.
says, "We know you don't have the girl. We're not giving you money." And they think it over for a second, and
Like-
we don't care. We still want the money.
Like, that's not how a ransom works.
No, he's like, "There's no ransom if there's no girl. Give us everything you have right now, and we call it even."
So Lebowski offers them what, the $7 or something?
$7. Donnie has 16, I think.
Yeah, but Walter will not stand for this. So yeah, so they start a fight. Walter fires a bowling ball at someone.
Fires a bowling ball. Holy
That poor
God,
man.
that eviscerates a man's junk.
Jesus.
Then he attacks Peter Stormare.
Yeah, he bites his ear off.
His ear and spits it so far in,
Yeah.
in the air.
And I think I read somewhere that's the second film Peter Stormare has been in that his ear gets bitten off. I don't know what the other one is.
I don't know what the
No.
he does not have an ear bitten off in Until Dawn, which I have most recently
Yeah.
seen him in. Yeah, he
Prison-
gets
Prison Break?
massacred. Yeah, he gets massacred
Oh,
twice
yeah.
in Prison Break.
Yeah. And then very sadly afterwards they turn around and Donnie has succumbed to a heart attack.
It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
right?
Donnie, who loved surfing so much, John Goodman was a great eulogy.
It's a great
Where they're
eulogy.
scattering his ashes. talking
So many
about-
good men died in Nam.
Yeah.
Just like Donnie did here.
Yeah, Donnie
Not
wasn't
in
on
Nam.
Nam.
No.
Correlation to Nam. But then he scatters the ashes and the wind blows them all into Lebowski.
Yeah,
Or
they
into the
don't
dude.
scatter so much as they just pile up somewhere else,
Yeah,
which
in-
would be the dude's beard.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, very sad ending to a great film.
A good film, yeah. I did enjoy it. I exaggerated a little to make a point, but I don't think it's a perfect film. I think the eulogy's great. John Goodman, everything John Goodman touches in this film is great.
The scene with Smokey. is one of my favorite scenes in. So where Smokey, it started early on in the movie.
I'm trying to think which one Smokey is.
He's the dude. Do you remember his toe goes over the line?
Oh, did he point the gun at?
So they take so they're playing bowling, and it's a league game. You know, this game decides.
This is a league game, Smokey.
Yeah, who enters the next round robin? And Smokey's toe is over the line, allegedly. So Walter tells him mark it 0. And he says, "Bullshit, Walter. I'm marking it an 8." And Walter pulls a gun. And he goes, "You're entering a world of pain, Smokey."
Yeah,
a world of pain.
Many worlds of pains in this movie. Yeah, he pulls a gun on him in the middle of the alley.
Yeah, and he just starts yelling at him. He's like, "What is it? Am I the only one who gives a shit about the fucking rules?" Or my favorite line is, "This is not Nam, Smokey. This is bowling. There are rules."
There are rules. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they just sit outside in the car and hide away from the guards that run in behind them.
Yeah,
yeah, it is great, and I think it's that one, or it's either that scene with Smokey, or it's the following one with Jesus, where Hotel California plays.
Yeah, fucking Quintana. Hotel California plays in Spanish.
Yeah,
yeah.
I had Mexican, but yeah, Spanish. Yeah, I had Mexican. It's so good. I actually want that cover because it's so much better.
Yeah,
because
Jesus Quintana, another like a side character. He's in what, 2 scenes?
8-year-olds, dude.
Yeah, he who was a pederast. He
He
did 6 months for exposing himself to an 8-year-old.
8-year-olds, dude. Yeah, it's also just before we get away from Smokey. That again is the scene where he brings in what's not a Pomeranian and goes on for a while about how it's a Pomeranian, and I couldn't. It's like a Yorkshire Terrier or something.
It's definitely not a Pomeranian.
It's so not a Pomeranian, and that follows too with when the nihilists come in with the
marmot.
The marmot. It's not a marmot. No, it's not. It's a.
That's a ferret, isn't it?
It's a ferret. Yeah. I had to look up on him. I thought a marmot might have been a different word for a ferret or something.
Yeah,
but it's absolutely not. They don't look the same thing at all. Have you seen a marmot?
No.
I'll show you a marmot now as we go on. But
I'm not going to promise we'll tweet this one like the picture we didn't tweet last week.
We didn't. We'll put this out with the picture of the dead woman.
Oh yeah.
But that's a marmot.
Right, that's
a marmot. That is
definitely not what
the
they
clip
put in the
of the animal shouting, Alan.
That's a marmot.
That's a marmot. Yeah, that is not a marmot. No. Right. You had some stuff you wanted to bring up from behind the scenes as you pull out a 10-page deep folder in front of you.
I'll just give you the abridged version, the cut down version. But as I said, John Goodman's favourite film. This is Wikipedia lists this film as the film with the 29th most uses of the word fuck, with 2.22 fucks per minute.
A lot of fucks.
Yeah, IMDb has it as 275 uses of fuck and 36 uses of the word shit in various, words like bullshit, shitty, that sort of thing.
Different variations of the word shit.
Yeah. In the original first draft of the script, it was actually revealed what the dude's source of income was.
Yes, I did. This I did read. Yeah,
he was the heir to the inventor of the Rubik's cube.
Yeah, I did
part
see
Hungarian.
This.
So
this actually popped up when I was looking, just on Twitter.
Yeah.
I looked up to see what people thought or whatever, and that was the first thing that popped up.
Most of the dude's wardrobe was provided by Jeff Bridges, and anything he didn't provide, they got from a thrift shop.
I'd believe that.
So yeah. The other thing is the inspirations for some of the characters in this film.
Right, hit me.
The dude was a real person. He was one of, do you know the Chicago 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the Chicago 7 not the Chicago 7, the Seattle 7. Yeah, it's the Seattle 7 and not the Central Park 5.
Not the Central Park 5 as I thought it was, yeah.
So these were anti-war protesters and during the Vietnam War. And this guy, Jeff the Dude Dowd, so he was actually called the Dude.
The Dude.
He was the main inspiration for Jeffrey Lebowski, the dude. Yeah, and that's where his love of white Russians comes from. Yeah,
he made me want one the whole way through this movie. They look so good.
I've never had one.
No, I've never had one either. But as soon as he mentioned Kahlua and made that, it looked delicious. I wanted some.
Walter Sobchak, also based on a real person. This guy
from the Chicago 7.
No, right. So Walter's based on this guy Peter Exline,
right?
Who also he came up the line, rug that really tied the room together. Because he lived in this shitty apartment with a really nice rug, and he always said, "Yeah, it's not much, but that rug really ties the room together."
It's a good line. It is a good line.
So Exline was a NAM vet and a PI, and the story about finding the kids' homework in the car, that's actually a real story, where there was a stolen car and he found some kids' homework in it, and he put it in the little plastic bag and confronted the child about it. Turns out the child had nothing to do with it. I don't know how it ended up in the car, but
probably not the same way it ends up for Larry, you know.
No, probably not. Yeah, so as well as that, this film's had a really weird, I wouldn't say the biggest, an enormous cultural influence, but it's had a very unique one. I'd say it's had one of the most unique cultural influences. So have you heard of the Ankylosaurus Big Lebowski?
This isn't the church.
No, this is a spider. This is a spider found in Africa.
No, I've not heard of this, no.
There's also one, the Ankylosaurus Dude.
Another spider?
Yeah. So there's two spiders named after this film. There is...
Do they, like, wear, like, sandals, or...?
No, they're just living in Africa. I assume they're just chill. Maybe they just don't kill people.
Yeah.
There's also...
A lot of spiders don't kill people.
Yeah, well, you know, Daddy Longlegs is a bit kinky.
Yeah, that's true.
They need something more chill than that. There's also an extinct variant of massive fern plant named after it called the Lebowskia grandifolia.
What? Why?
I don't know.
There's no reason they picked just big fans.
I assume they're just fans.
Just big fans,
yeah. That's probably it.
Church.
And as well as cultural influence, there's a Lebowski pub in Reykjavik.
Yeah, there is. No, I've been in this pub.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I've been in this
pub.
pub.
And you didn't bring that up?
No, because because I didn't know what the film was when I had been in it. Like, I knew it was a film, but I hadn't seen it. Because when we went to Reykjavik in 2016 for the football, we bounced around bars.
Yeah.
And we were in there for like 10 minutes, maybe, at most. We didn't stay because it wasn't the bar we thought it was.
I hear there's rugs all over the walls and shit. Like the rug that really tied the room together. I hear they just have that rug all over the place.
It's a cool spot. Like, we have to... I'll make sure we visit, David, just because you will have your time of your life. But
there's also a pub in Scotland that's a Big Lebowski themed pub, and they've got 30 variants of White Russians. So they've got the Jesus, which is a White Russian with tequila in it. They've got one that's painted green or tinted green, so that's for Bunny.
Oh, that's class. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. So, you know, big cultural influence.
Yeah.
And now, Caolán, let me introduce you to my religion.
Yes, I've been waiting for this, David.
Yeah. So the dude, his kind of life philosophy was inspired by this ancient Chinese philosophy called Taoism or Taoism.
Okay.
Basically, in ancient China, I think it was the Zhou dynasty, everything was just crumbling apart, and the government just completely collapsed, and this led to a rise of all these new thoughts of how to govern a people. And one of these was a guy called Lao Tzu, who came up with this idea of Taoism or Taoism, which is following the Tao, which is just the way or the path.
Okay.
So he's literally like, if there's an obstacle in your road, don't worry about it, go somewhere else. And it's very much just like, kind of just go with the flow kind of a thing. And his thing was action through inaction. So just basically you act by not acting. So essentially the dude, you know, just kind of...
Yeah, that is
just kind of
the dude's motto, yeah.
Yeah.
So see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And basically his story is, Lao Tzu's story is, when all the government was collapsing and all these people were putting forward their ideas of how to govern, he just got fed up with everyone, and he literally just fucked off to where they didn't make maps anymore. So he went off to the edge of China, and someone stopped him and asked him to write down his philosophy. So he wrote it down and then fucked off and was never seen again.
That's great. That's what you want to do.
That's a great move. Yeah, it's like the modern day equivalent of just deleting all your social media.
That is exactly what that is. Yeah,
it's a
move. Media blackout.
Yeah. So this ancient philosophy and the Big Lebowski have inspired the creation of a church
called
the Church of the Latter-day Dude.
Okay.
I'm an ordained member as of the 9th of January 2018.
How do you come across being ordained?
You just apply online. I've got a certificate and everything. I'll tweet it.
Wait, what? You have a printed out certificate?
I don't have it printed out.
Oh, okay.
I can print it out if I really wanted to, but you know, that's a lot of effort.
I kind of like this idea now.
Yeah, so I'm an ordained Dudeist preacher, priest, whatever you want, and I was on the Church of the Latter-day Dudes website, and they've got a page about dudes throughout history, great dudes throughout history. Do you want to hear something?
Yes, I very much do.
So Lao Tzu, Jeff Bridges, the Big Lebowski.
Okay.
Or the Dude Lebowski. Snoopy, Charlie Brown's dog.
Okay, Snoopy.
Quincy Jones, the music producer, has like 80 Grammy nominations.
So weird.
Buddha, Jesus.
Famous for this and being their one and only religion, yeah.
Yeah, so Gandhi.
Big Mahatma, yeah.
Big Mahatma. Julia Childs.
Julia Childs, the chef.
Yeah,
the TV chef, yeah.
And getting her second name drop on the show, Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
Also one of the great dudes of history.
Greatness.
Yeah, that's dudism.
Right.
Have I converted you?
You see, you're gonna give out to me here, David, and it's the first time I've mentioned it on a podcast. It probably won't be the last.
Go on.
The Church of the Latter-day Dude
Yeah.
has two members
Yeah.
that have featured on the popular web series Epic Rap Battles of History.
Oh wow. Well, is that enough to convert you?
And one of them is the creator of the Latter-day Dude, pretty much.
Which?
Lao Tzu
Lao Tzu.
has been on.
Yeah.
He has been on along with Julia Childs.
Who was allowed to fight him?
He was in a team with, it was Sun Tzu, Confucius, and Lao Tzu against Nietzsche, Socrates, and Voltaire.
Oh, wow.
The Western versus Eastern philosophies.
I see.
And Julia Childs fought the Gordon Ramsay, as you would
I assume she
you
won.
would assume, yeah.
And she won.
Well, they don't. The winner is up to you.
Oh, okay.
But
Who
I
do you
would
think
say
won?
she did win,
Okay,
yes.
well,
And I also would say that the Asians.
Please, dude. Chinaman is not the preferred nomenclature. Asian American.
The Asian Americans won, but they're not Asian Americans. They're
not,
just
no,
Asians.
But that's just a quote from the
Yeah,
film.
the Asian philosophers have
Yeah.
smacked down the Westerns.
Smackdown, yeah.
Layeth the smackdown on all the Western asses.
Right, so do you want to go into some of our favourite and least favourite bits of the movie?
Yeah,
I think we can both kind of agree on who our favourite actor is, John Goodman.
it's definitely John Goodman. Yeah,
He's
so good in this film.
And he's clearly just having such a good time.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's
He's having so much
fantastic.
fun with it
Yeah.
that I you'd feel weird not saying that he's the best
Yeah.
part of this film. To see, the funny thing about it is, a lot of things it just didn't grab me, but I couldn't say that I could pick out some stuff that I really disliked.
Yeah, it's a very kind of strange film.
Yeah.
Like I said, even the Coens don't particularly like it. They rarely talk about it in interviews, and when they have, they said, "Yeah, I think people like it more than us."
Oh, that's definitely true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, they've got a wider variety of movie to
They
pick
do,
from.
yeah. But
It not being the favorite movie they've made is hardly a
Yeah.
slam dunk of an
Yeah.
insult.
But yeah, I think it is a very strange film. It's hard to get into because the plot is takes such a
Such a
backseat.
non-point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got this kind of cult following because it did pretty terrible in the box office. It made its money back, but not a huge profit, and not what they'd wanted. And basically, a couple of years later, it was just shown at midnight showings, and this journalist wrote an article about this kind of cult status of this film. And there was a theater that opened up, and they showed it for a midnight screening the following weekend after they heard this article, and they had to turn hundreds of people away. And there's Lebowski Fest.
Yeah, I remember the Coens went to a cinema one day.
Yeah.
And they had overnight showings where they dressed up. And
Yeah, and they asked the
Coens would probably like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
didn't
it's
tell her that they made the film.
Yeah. Oh, she said oh, I've no idea, but people always come in dressed up. It looks like a lot of fun. And this thing, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, we'll give it a go.
I hope they went.
Oh, they have to have gone.
I hope they went.
Yeah.
Dressed up as the Coen brothers.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Just wear suits or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, maybe a weak point for me is I can't think of his name, but the first time, maybe the second time you meet Maud,
Yeah.
The videographer or whatever he is
The
just
dude
sitting there.
sitting in the corner.
Yeah, and he
That's very
phones
strange.
it's so
Yeah.
pointless.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that.
I think that's the point of it. It's just
Yeah, I know. It sure is. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I made the point that we have to try and find something about
Yeah,
it. So
that's fair.
if I'm looking
Yeah.
for a weak, point, he has to be it. But I would struggle. It is a weird one where I struggle to find something
It's
that
one of those films
I
that just
really
didn't
don't
grab
like, but it just is. I just can't say I love it.
yeah.
Maybe if I watched it again, it'd be alright, but
Yeah.
it'll be a while.
You got to be in a good mood for it. Or
Yeah,
in
maybe.
the right mood for it.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Well, you're the one who has the. I assume you have a.
Recommendation of the week. Yeah. Before we do that, which we definitely didn't forget last week. So where can people find us on social media, Caolán?
We didn't forget this last week. You can find us on Twitter at 2men1pod. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube at 2men&a-pod. And you can send in your emails, inquiries, comments, questions, concerns to 2menandapod@gmail.com.
Yeah. Any requests will be put. We guarantee they will be put into the spreadsheet.
Yeah, any
no guarantee
any
they'll ever
requests
get
will be
read to.
put to a line, and we will we will read you out. Oh,
Yeah.
we will read you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, David, you had a recommendation for us this week.
Yeah. So
To top the mighty beast that is Ghost Shark.
Yeah. So last week you brought a recommendation that was very much with theme. With
In the
theme.
wheelhouse.
Yeah. I didn't do that.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one of my favourite movies and it's one of my favourite TV shows that I'm bringing.
Okay.
I've definitely told you to watch this and you definitely haven't. It's Firefly.
It's Firefly, yeah. Is
What
it a
a shock.
movie?
There is a follow-up movie.
Okay.
Because it was cancelled
Like a
after one
TV
season.
movie or an actual movie?
No, an actual movie.
Oh.
Like proper solid movie.
Yeah, I've
as well.
definitely not seen this.
Yeah, the follow-up movie is called Serenity. But Firefly is a brilliant TV show. It's Joss Whedon's thing that he did after Buffy. And it's basically Space Cowboys. And I mean, like, I don't need to sell it anymore.
No, Space Cowboys does sell it.
It
See,
was cancelled after one season, but that was like because Fox like fucked it up.
Yeah.
They aired the episodes out of date. They played the second
Yeah,
one
it's a mess.
first because the second one had more action. So they played the second episode, and then so essentially the second episode that people watched was the first episode where all the characters were introduced.
Right.
It was it was
All
a
over
big
the
mess.
place.
But it's like I think it's 12, 13 episode season, and then like a 2-hour film. It is so good, so enjoyable. It's a fiver in sex, I'm sure. Still, well, it was when I got it.
Is it sex or CEX?
CEX sex? I mean,
Yeah, but
right, fine. It's a fiver in CEX.
yeah, I don't want to mislead the people looking up sex. Do you know what I mean? That leads you
Firefly
down a
sex.
rabbit hole. Yeah,
Yeah.
look up Firefly sex. Yeah, you've told me about Firefly maybe 12,000 times,
Yeah.
and Abed has told me to watch.
Yes.
Community tells you to watch Firefly just as many times as David does.
Yeah.
So again, I'll probably not watch it, but I will add it to my ongoing list of 1,000,000 TV shows that I have to get through.
There you go.
Firefly will be added.
So, what film are we watching next week, Caolán?
Next week, the 11th, we're going to go with... well, like I said, I planned to originally do Halloween month, but we can't do that now that we've started with the Big Lebowski on the 4th. So what we will do is we'll throw a horror movie in the 18th.
Yeah.
A Halloween film to be revealed next Sunday.
And we'll be doing something for the following week as well.
The following, we have more news on that next week.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do the next week, the 11th, is we're going to go with Quentin Tarantino's second best film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Debatable.
With his by far best performance from an actor.
Debatable.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we're going to go Once Upon a Time in Hollywood next Sunday, the 11th. So be ready.
Yeah. See you then.
See you then, folks.